Good afternoon, everybody. Being here is a real pleasure and an honor for me. First, on behalf of the Intesa Sanpaolo Insurance Division, let me thank Professor Nanut and all the MIB staff for the invitation. I'm always enthusiastic to come to Trieste, because in this beautiful city, many years ago, my professional story took a significant turning point. Second, let me explain why I chose the title "Well Begun is Half Done." Because today I'm not going to speak to you about a specific theme, but rather I want to share a selection of personal stories and thought that I consider useful for young people at the beginning of their career. I will speak about my roots, my family, my approach to others, describing the journey I've done so far. The journey started from actions driven by asking what and how. A journey that over the years has evolved more and more towards an increasing emotional engagement of people around me, leading to actions driven by asking who. So, let's start with Trieste. It was the autumn 1991. I had in my pocket a degree in math and the insane desire to discover more about mathematical finance and actuarial science. Math had given me the mental approach to problem solving, technical tools, and some resilience. But I was hungry to see practical applications of it. So I successfully applied for a doctorate in math for economics, which gave me the opportunity to orientate my career towards finance and insurance. Over the 3 years of doctorate, I came to Trieste several times for courses and workshops, and I still fondly remember that period. After the doctorate, I spent quite a short period as a university researcher. But after struggling with an evaluation of pros and cons, I took the difficult decision to leave the academic career for the industry. This happened about 20 years ago, and now, if I look back, I have to say I do not have any regrets. My story is positive. I can say that my story is positive, a story that I'm happy to share, especially with young people, to enable them look at the future with an optimistic attitude. So, let me tell you something more about me. I was born in a very normal family. My father was a goldsmith, my mother a housewife, and I'm the eldest of 4 sisters. Look at the village where I grew up. Its name is Valmadonna. And for a child, it can't get any better. Hills to discover, trees to climb, an amazing sight wherever you cast your eyes. I left this peaceful and relaxing place for university, where I studied seriously, but also worked to contribute to my own expenses. I was highly motivated to succeed, and so I worked very hard. However, I have to say it was not difficult, because I always had an interest in what I did. Math is beautiful. Math does never disappoint you, because it's simply perfect. There is no such perfection in the real world. At most, we may say with Galileo that maths is the language of nature. Let's go to a hot topic, work-life balance being a woman. And I look at the girls. Many girls, I'm happy of it. I grew up in a large family, and family is central for me. So I set up my own family quite early. This is my family. My children are 22 and 17 years old. How could I manage my family with growing work responsibilities? I don't have the recipe for every situation, but I can share my own experience. First of all, I've always been determined to work and to be committed at work. I've never questioned it. This was a guiding principle and also a rule of engagement with my future husband. Actually, clear rules of engagement with the partner is a #1 priority. Another important element for me was the unconditional availability of my mother, who supported me both directly looking after my children and closely supervising the nanny's activities while I was out. If I hadn't had my mother available, I'd have had to delegate someone else. Not as easy, but absolutely doable. Clearly, I was lucky. Nevertheless, I had to delegate many aspects of my children's life to others, surely missing out on something. Even in the most favorable conditions, there is always a trade-off between family and career, and every woman makes a personal assessment of what is worth to do. For this reason, I support the call for more opportunities for women and a better gender balance in our firms. But at the same time, I recognize that for a woman, the decision to have a career is never easy. When you take it, because for you it's important to fulfill your professional aspirations, then I encourage you not to give up. It may be difficult, but resist. Children can feel when their mother is happy, even if she is too tired to play with them. I used to commute 3 hours a day for 17 years, to go back every night to our family house where the children care machine was established. This meant that to the question, what do you do in your spare time? My immediate answer for many years was, I don't have spare time. This meant, for example, that sport came back into my life under the form of running at 5:30 in the morning or during the weekend. This meant that after a long day in the office, and the above-mentioned 3 hours of commuting, I very often ended the day listening to my children repeat history or science for the test the day after. This meant that sometimes I woke up at 3 a.m., suddenly remembering that I had missed some important school deadlines. All that said, now that my children are adults, I'm happy to have it all and proud of what we have achieved. Can we say that for new generation it is any easier? We can, and it's a fact. Our firms are evolving towards more flexible forms of work, smart working, more flexible working hours, welfare-oriented to family, just to mention a few. The right of women to have it all has become natural among new generations, and this is paving the way for further positive evolutions. Let's speak of giving. Let me start from my family once again to speak of giving. We have seen I have 3 sisters. I have a sister-in-law, so you can imagine I have nephews and nieces. Well, I openly converse with all of them, try to inspire and coach. I push them towards activities aligned to their aptitudes and at the same time to achieve their goals. I have to say, I feel some responsibility that my daughter chose a finance university course and my eldest nephews want to become respectively a mathematician and an engineer. Looking outside my family and friends circle, I've always tried to partner with my team members, find a solution together, share success and failures. My approach has always been cooperative, both with my team and with colleagues belonging to other functions. The silo behavior identifies a culture that is not mine. Therefore, giving younger people the opportunity to grow is key to me, and as a head of over many years, I like keeping a record of new head-offs I've contributed to create. Outside my inner circle, family, friends, colleagues, there are also other people seeking my advice on a regular or occasional basis. I try to find time for everyone. There is no reason why I shouldn't. Why am I saying this? Because interest in others, giving quality time to others, sharing our knowledge. In other words, a giving approach in relationships is positive for everybody, in the sense that it makes the cake bigger, so that everyone can have more. This is what my experience taught, and I was pleased when I learned that this is the core message of the seminal book Give and Take by Adam Grant, an inspirational read that I warmly suggest you read. The sun shines after the storm. You may be motivated in a domain where you undoubtedly have expertise, with the right approach to others, but something goes wrong, and that feeling of being forgotten, or worse, not appreciated for your contribution, or even misunderstood, starts to overwhelm you. It may happen, and I'm pretty sure it's not uncommon. I've experienced such a situation more than once, with remarkably different shades. After a lucid analysis of the origin of the storm, I put in place suitable survivorship techniques, basically founded on the common ground of nurturing some hard or soft skills potentially useful in better times, in order to maintain a good level of self-confidence and the sense of building so crucial in fueling our motivation. I don't know if life is actually mean reverting, or if instead it mocks us, deceiving it. Probably the truth is that from negative moments you learn new tools to progress, and as a result, the sun always shines after the storm. Sharing the mission. Speaking of storms, one of my bosses, by the way, one I prefer to forget, said once, "Maria Luisa, you are not made to work in an unfriendly environment." It's true. I've realized, probably late, that I can only work in a firm with people, with a boss, with my boss's boss, moved by strong values, my own values. What are these values? Respect, quality, transparency, sustainability, sense of leaving a legacy, just to mention a few. Alignment between your own values and the ones of the organization you join is extremely important for a satisfactory working life. Work absorbs an enormous amount of time. You must spend the working hours doing something meaningful, which is possible understanding the micro and macro context, your role in the group, and the purpose of the firm. That is, what is the ultimate scope of the firm? Does this make sense for you? A positive answer is positive and promising for your engagement as an employee. You all are well positioned for giving a positive answer to this question. The purpose of the insurance sector is clear at a high level. The purpose of insurance is to protect your goods, your person, your beloved, your savings from uncertainty. Deep diving into the different groups and companies, it acquires many colors. Take, for example, the firm for which I currently work within the insurance division of Intesa Sanpaolo. Fideuram Vita has a strong identity as the insurance solution provider for affluent and wealthy clients of the private division of the group. Their needs, the needs of these clients, shape what we have to do and our business plans. Looking at the perspective of the insurance sector as a whole, we are in an exciting but also challenging period. The so-called digital revolution has started with developments in technology leading to new ways to provide services as well as greater opportunities for data collection. InsurTech is the neologism used to describe this change in one word. The InsurTech growth is appreciated at a glance, looking at the amount of investment attracted over the last few years, from $140 million in 2011 to a peak of $2.7 billion in 2015. Technologies relevant to InsurTech range from mobile technology and apps to artificial intelligence, blockchains, advanced analytics to big data. It's out of my current scope to speak of InsurTech. But let me just say that new technologies create challenges and opportunities for the insurance sector, at the same time offering a unique context where young people can actively get involved and contribute to a major breakthrough. I also add that their contribution, the contribution of young people, is key to capture new trends and business paradigms in a more natural way than our generation can do. Other challenges the sector is facing are given by the macroeconomic scenario and evolving regulation. Low interest rates for long have forced the insurance sector, especially life, to find new product and investment strategies. Turning to regulation, it's evolving more and more towards transparency, putting revenues under competitive pressure. So, the path along which the insurance sector is moving appears headed to generate more value for clients and less free lunches for shareholders. The direction is towards a fairer world, where skills of employees are even more valuable than in the past to lead our firms successfully. What a better environment for young and competent people. Risk culture and internal control, and I promise it's the last one. We have just described the challenges the insurance sector is facing. Well, in such a changing environment, it's even more crucial a corporate culture where developments goes together with risk management and compliance to norms. I like to say that risk management is good management. An embedded risk culture means that everybody in the firm makes decisions according to sound risk management practices. The role of internal controls is to verify that this is the case. Among them, the risk function has the responsibility to fertilize the corporate culture, to support and coach the first line of defense in order to drive decision-making processes towards good decisions. The role of the top management, CEO first, is to foster this fertilization, empowering the risk function and the other control functions. Also, the discipline of strategic planning and management control is a building block of good management. We may say that planning and control define the baseline, while risk management challenges it and identifies deviations from it. The deeper the risk culture is, the more strategic plans are impacted by it, and the baseline changed accordingly. I think that at least over the last 5 years, there has been a substantial strengthening of the risk culture within the major insurance groups. Does it mean that we may let our guard down? Indeed not. Risk cultures should be measured and monitored continuously. In the same way we measure customer satisfaction or employees' satisfaction. A firm-wide effective risk culture is a priority for a firm which wants to build a sound and sustainable future. This topic is relevant for you all, given the background you have acquired during your study at MIB and the role you are going to play going forward. This leads me to my conclusion, and I wish to leave you with the following message. Believe in yourself, follow your passions with resolution, invest in your skills, but remember that your wellness and growth will increase the more you recognize with generosity and humility the value of people around you within your family and at work. Thanks for your attention and my best wishes for a bright future.